And it's the first time I've actually been able to get inside. Geez, I got sunburned today. Can you tell? Wow. Good work, Australia. We're here in the Tank Museum. Let me make this a little bit longer so people are going to be able to see things. Bloody selfie sticks. What will they think of next? There we go. So, so you can come along with me. Come along with me. On a world of imagination. Oh. So this is basically the Sherman. In fact, if we go around the front, g'day, how you going, guys? This is the M4A1 Sherman named Michael. And one of the things you're going to notice about a lot of these tanks is there's no real sense of scale from the game. Have a look at the size of this thing. I mean, it is an absolute monster. I'm 6'5", right? We'll get to the top. That's the reason I'm doing this. We will actually see the top. I'm 6'5". Like, this thing, it's so much bigger than I am. And you're going to see, if you get a look at it from up there, like, how cool is this? That is legitimately a massive big tank. And that's a Sherman. Now, in the game, the Sherman isn't renowned as being particularly huge. If you want to get a real opener, have a look at this, man. This is the KB1. The KB1 is a freaking monster. It is a huge vehicle. And this one's been redone with the paint job and everything. So you can see that if you look at the welds, the difference on the welds and things, this is a Russian heavy, right? Look at the difference on the welds and how thick these metal welds are and how exposed they are all along here, all the ridges and that. We're going to get down to the German tanks, but I'll give you an idea. If we go over here and you have a look, this is like early war looks. Look at the welds and everything on a German light. I mean, they're precise. They're not mass produced. You go from that little beautiful bit of engineering into this. Look at the size of it. It is a monster. G'day, Midget. How you going, guys? Good to see you. Yeah, this is, so that's a looks, and this is a KV1. The KV1 is quite simply ginormous, and it's not hard to imagine why this thing was so effective. Like, this is the smallest Russian heavy in the game, and it's just not. When you actually start looking at these tanks specifically, g'day, greetings from India, g'day guys, live from within the museum because we haven't had access to the good Wi-Fi before. Meaty, Bushka's a grub. Yeah, why wouldn't you believe that? This is what I'm talking about. This is the Jag Panther. There is no concept within the game of how big this thing is. It is absolutely freaking monstrous. Excuse me. So this is me next to a Jag Panther, in front of a Jag Panther. Like, it is, this tank is absolutely huge compared to what you expect. It's bigger than the Chaffee, which you can see directly opposite it, right? That's the Chaffee. There is the big boy. Have a look at the size of the thing. Like, it's massive. It doesn't really get represented this way in the game. Where am I in England? In Bovington. And if we have a look here, this is why I love coming inside the museum, and giving you guys a chance to get inside the museum is pretty phenomenal. And I'm going to take you into the Tiger exhibition as well, right? This is like, that's the Hetzer. Hetzer going to Hetz, right? But look how little the Hetzer is there. Up here. That's the Jag Panther. You can see the difference between the two tanks there. Hetz is a tiny little thing. This thing is an absolute monster. The Chaffee, and there's also a pattern over here, I think. I think there's a pattern here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. James, are you taking song requests? G'day, mate. Hope you're doing well. Hope Benny and Mary are well. Candy has bought me a Grump shirt and made some stickers and that. Anyone recognise this thing? That's a Ram Kangaroo. So this is the M2 Locust, the light, the tiny little light, and there's the M10, the tank destroyer. And here we go. There's the Pershing. Not the Super P, but the Pershing on its own. So we're going to have a look in the Tiger collection. GT, good to see you, man. Yeah, the aspect of the eye. This room is special. Here we go. Let's look at this. This is the Tiger 2 with the Porsche turret. Have a look at this thing. Like this room is basically tank porn. This is the best room in the whole place. Tiger 2 with a Porsche turret. You can see when they were making the prototypes, that's what we call the stock turret. But that's the Porsche turret with the rounded area next to the gun mantlet. This is a very big tank, man. Don't worry, we'll get to the top. I think there is a Ram here, GT. I think there is. But these things are truly incredible. The size of these tanks is phenomenal. Have a look at this over here. Look at the size of this monster. Some blokes at the back. Look at the Jag Tiger. It is huge. It is freaking huge. And I'll get you some kind of idea on the back area here. You can see in through the... Yeah, you guys seeing that? That's the internal of a Jag Tiger. There's your big ass engine. There's no mouse here. The only mouse I believe that's in existence is in Moscow. Skate's seen it. The boys have seen it, but this thing's phenomenal and it's beautiful. Like, I'm going to show you too, the side of this tank, they've removed the, not the Jag. This is, have a look at this. Right, so I'm 6'5" with like an 8 foot something standing reach. I can't get to the top of the gun turret. Like, it's massive. Whoa. It's huge. It's just massive. And this is just so well made and so incredibly well made. And if we have a look under here, you can see there's a round mark there that they've, where is it? Is it that one? Or is it down here? Yeah, here. See this little indentation here? So a shell is hit there and then just ground a concave area there all the way through. And that hole you see is where it just went straight through and they've repaired it all. Kind of nuts. Like, that's steel. If you think about the forces it would take to remove that big chunk of steel there, it's just scary. And there's also a bunch of stuff over here on the 131. There's the Tiger 131. That's what it's meant to look like. If you have a look, this is the good take. Have a look at this. This is pretty spectacular. We're going to get to the TOG, you clowns. Why do you all want to see the TOG? This is just a beautiful, beautiful tank, both in terms of historical import and just design. This is where it was all hit by shells. I'm going to walk you through the. It's just been lovingly restored. But that's a hell of a shot, isn't it? They've repaired it, but the first time I came here, you can see, like, look at that area just there. That's from a shell just ricocheting. That's like the thickness of that metal. And yeah, that's just like a shell has ricocheted and just chewed straight through it like it's toffee. There's nothing there. Like, it's just madness. First time I came here, they hadn't redone the mantlet and you could see where the shell hit and it was just a silver mark. This is a very important tank. This is a T-34-76, a 76mm, but this is actually, I think it was a captured Soviet tank that got turned into a tank in the Finnish army. Where is it? Yeah. Put into Finnish service. So it's a T-34-75 basically with 76, with that was turned into a German tank. Yes, we will be having a look in the warehouse with the extended collection. I don't know if I'll go and do that with you all now. Depends if you're all enjoying it, and I'll keep going. But yeah, guys, the Wi-Fi is tough. Hey, the Wi-Fi is tough. I can't help that. Here's just like the biggest tank you're ever going to see. This is the Tort. It's ridiculous. This thing is just ridiculous. And if you play Blitz, it doesn't do it any kind of justice. This thing is, it's got the 124. So this is at eye level for me. I'm 6'5". This is eye level for me, right? This here, and then it just keeps going up. That's my hand reaching up as far as I can to touch the top of the tortoise. So that's a good 8 feet up in the air. That is just a massive, massive vehicle. Is a Neil here? Yep. I saw a Neil before. I took him up on stage for we did like a Blitz thing, and I got him up on stage and he won a t-shirt. God bless him. No LTTBs, no LTTBs. Is the Valiant little tanks. Is this, here we go. There's your Ram, GT Hawk. There's your Canadian Beastie, there's your Ram. Look at the Ram, look how tall the Ram is. And Tort's taller than the Ram. It's a TD, doesn't have a turret. There's no 183 here, but there is an FV4005 at the entry as you come in. And it's pretty scary. Like, it looks terrifying. It legitimately is scary. I'm going to give you guys a bit of a treat now. There's a Valiant. It's a really lovely Panzer IV here. If you have a look at that, the detail and the care on these things is ridiculous. Yeah, guys, I know it's laggy, but I can't help that. There's like, I don't have access to any better internet. This is it. Like, it is what it is. They do have the Comet. There's a couple of Comets here, actually. This is an interesting tank. Yeah, I can't help it, guys. I don't know what you want me to do. I've told you already. It's not my internet. This is the Tank Museum's internet. Yeah, the Dracula and the Helsing are just in the next room. Hang on, I'll show you there. Okay, this is pretty cool. You can see this is like the zimmering, the armor, but on the top of it here, this is solid concrete, and they've actually put concrete on top of the armor. Don't know how effective that would have been if it got hit by something, but I guess you want every bit of armor you can. So there was actually, oh, hello, how are we doing? There's actually solid concrete on top of it, which is very different. And you can see in here, you got there's a Sherman 11A, there's an old Churchill. And if we keep going down here, yeah, concrete. I know, it's pretty crazy. You're gonna see on the right down here, God, there's a kid's, this is exactly where it should be. There's a kid's playground over here, right? No worries, kid's playground. And then in the very corner, see if people are still here when I come back. The Wi-Fi died as soon as I looked at the top. It's just, oh, here it's back. We're back. Yeah, you guys broke the internet. Like as soon as we saw the Tog, the monster. Like, look how freaking tall it is. You clowns, go and stand next to the Tog. Meaty, there's Meaty. Meaty 69. Look at the ass on that. I see you, baby. Shaking that ass. There's Ian's. I'm going to give you an Ian's for scale. Ian's for scale. There it is. Like, it's big. It's big. Ian's is 7 foot tall. That's a tall tank. Look at the size of the thing. Take a bite. Take a bite of that. Yeah. Just for the smell of it. We've got the Chieftain over here. You've got a Conqueror. The Conqueror is another of the tanks. Like, this is, I don't know what the Brits were doing, but they built some big ass vehicles, just massive vehicles. Really, legitimately incredible. It's like this, the width on this thing. Just looking at it on the iPhone doesn't really give the same kind of impact, but the size of the gun and the width on these main battle tanks is absolutely. There's a Chieftain Mark 12. Like, these are proper tanks, big tanks. You can see the size of them. Like, they don't muck around. Absolutely dwarfing anyone that goes up anywhere near them. They're just huge. It cleared up the TOG. Yeah, so the TOG just stupidly large. Stupidly large. Here's Meadsy holding court. Meadsy is telling everyone, I've had enough of your shit. You don't have enough win rate. You can't join my clan. No more. You camp too much. You can't join and play with me. I'm too elite. That's Meadsy. He just thinks he's elite. This is all Blitz people. There you go. What positive waves just said. Concrete dissipating that energy and stopping those magnetic explosives. So we're going to go back into the main section of the museum, and then we're going to go downstairs. If my internet holds, you're going to see some pretty cool stuff. Namely, the panther will pop up there. Oh, this is great. This is great. I'll give you a look at this. This is all the guns. So this is really cool, actually. If you really want to get an idea on the guns, like the Tiger One, etc., and how they stack up, this is really cool. So that is the gun of the Tiger One right there. This is the 88. It's a proper big gun. Hey, and then over here you can see the big gun at the top here. That's the tortoise. Now that's a massive gun. It's way bigger than the Tigers. And under that you have the Charioteer, and then the Comet's gun. Look all the way down the bottom. Like, you got your ram gun and everything, like the pew 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 pew. They're really crazy. Hey, let's have a look over here at the Comet. We've got the Comet here, and this is Ascent. There's your Centurion. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, right? Brits do like big guns and big butts, mate. There's Ascent, but have a look at this baby. The Cruiser Comet 1, Adamant. That is an impressive looking little number. There you go. Inside the bowels. Here's your Black Prince. And you can see the family resemblance between all these tanks. Your Comets, your Black Princes. There's a Churchill 5 somewhere swanning about the joint. There's an M46. And the sloping on the turret is not nearly as smooth as you think. Like, a lot of the tanks, when you get up close and personal, the earlier vehicles, like from World War II and such, the slope turrets, the M46 that we have, the turret on it looks so much cleaner than this. And it really is a trick of the light. It is nowhere near that kind of look in real life. This is very interesting. This is a look at the armor in a Soviet tank, like the thickness of the turret armor. Hand for size, hand for scale. That's a lot of steel, right? It's an awful lot of steel. No, there's no T-49 there. And you can see how thick the turret armor is. But you can also see how small that turret is and how small the internal space is on these Soviet tanks. And there is no room. I'll give you a look in there. Like, there is not a lot of room for tall tank drivers. I think that's the driver's, no, that's the commander's seat here underneath the hatch. Look at how that thing is absolutely minuscule. You wouldn't be having a party in there. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. Yes, thank you. How good is this thing? Yeah, how do they load the gun with that, mate? Always space for vodka. How sexy is that beastie? And here we go. We've seen the Tog. I'm not going back to see the Tog. We're back at the Michael, the M4A1, and the Cruiser, the Covenanter. There's our Cent 7.1. And now I'm going to try and take you down without losing the Wi-Fi to the bottom area where there are some phenomenal vehicles. Specifically, I want to show you the Panther. Panther, this is one of the things. The Panther, compared to the other tanks of the time, looks like a spacecraft. It just looks like a spaceship. So just going down the main corridors here, and then we're going to roll out and see the boys are dressed up, all the Africa Corps uniforms. Here we go. Have a look at this. And there's the Panther over there, which I think is one of the best ones in the whole place. Yeah, people are looking at me weird, but I don't know. People look at me weird anyway. I'm a weird looking head. Your Wi-Fi was terrible in the Tog room. We won't go there. So this is all the earlier stuff right down this very bottom section of the museum. They basically run you through the ideas of, there's a Wargaming Education Centre. That's where we go to get indoctrinated and teach you to buy more premium tanks. Little Willie on display here, the mother of all tanks. Have a look at this bad boy, the Flying Scotsman. Lohans get the Panther. Yeah, pretty incredible stuff. There's a Japanese tank in here, one of the original Japanese tanks. Have a look at this. The Medium Mark A. And this is actually a very tall tank. You can get, they've opened up the side of the Mark II so you can see the engine. But these things are enormous. Engine's just sitting out wide in the open behind these guys. No compartment or anything like that. You were just sitting in with the engine. Could you imagine how dirty and noisy and stinking hot this would have been in here? You wouldn't have been moving very quick either. The Renault FT17, medium. There's no mouse here, guys. There's just no mouse. It doesn't exist. There's one in Moscow. Skate went and saw it. Where's the Japanese one that was here? Is that it? That's the Medium Mark II. There's a Vickers Armstrong. Maybe it's further along. But we're going to have a look at the belle of the ball now. This is the tank that I think is probably the most impressive pound for pound technology-wise compared to everything else you're going to see. There's the Char B1, the BIS. And that's the Panther. As we come around here, you're going to see this thing is absolutely ridiculous. The lines on it, the size of it, the armor angling, the sloping, even on the sides, the tracks, the spacing, the gun goes for freaking ever. And to have this, one of the best looking tanks I've ever seen, certainly a tank that for its time was just broke. Not having the same kind of quality about it in game as some of those other vehicles is ridiculous. Hey, but it's special. It's a special vehicle. Very, very space age. Kiss it. I'm not kissing it, but okay. So you look at that. Look at the quality of that build, right? Look at it. It's big. Its armor is ridiculous. Look at the mantlet on it. Look at that mantlet, right? Incredible. Moved like lightning. Was, it was absolute craftsmanship. And then you get around here and you look at the 3485. And the 3485 broke the world because they made just so many of these tanks. It was so tough and so simple, but look at the welds on it, right? This is what I'm talking about. The mantlet is inside. The actual gun mantlet is inside the turret armor, but the welds are so thick. I want you to look at the workmanship and the welds on that, right? Look at them. It's like it's been molded out of concrete and clay. Then look at that, follow that 76 millimeter gun along, and look at this thing. These are from the same time. Look at it. Look at the welds on the Panther. That is one solid piece of steel all around the back there. Look at the mantlet. Compare those two tanks and tell me why we have a Panther in the game that is so shit compared to something like that. I'm going to take you up top. There is a TOG here. There is a TOG here. And we looked at the TOG already, and you can't make me look at it twice, right? You can't make me look at the TOG again. You just can't. There's the Panther in the background there, and behind me, I'm going to give you a look right down the hatch of the T-34. Can you see inside of that? Like, it's a tiny little space. Then look at that beast. Look at that thing there. And from over here, you can see there's another Sherman Firefly over there. That's with the big dog gun, the proper big bugger off gun. There's beer. So I saw the boys from Raid and UN this morning from the EU server. I got here at 10 o'clock. I walk into the food area and they're all sitting down drinking beers. They're like, Jim Bushka, you want a beer? I'm like, no. Yeah. So now we're in the Firefly. Now this is obviously another landmark tank that they just haven't put enough love into in the game. There's the Cromwell. There's your Cromwell. All happening for your Cromwell. And if you guys really love this, we can do it again tomorrow. I don't mind. It's good fun. Sherman Firefly. Now this is obviously the most advanced of the Shermans. This thing looks ridiculous. It's a beautiful big tank. The difference between this and the M4A1 that we saw earlier, the Michael, the difference in the welds, the difference in the armor profiling, the workmanship on the sides, this flat side armor that the Sherman has, and the gun. Obviously, having that gun in there made the world of difference. Yeah, where's the Draculas in that? We're gonna have a look in here. Have a look at this. See if you guys know. All right, what tank's that? Come on, what tank's that? Hey boys, say hello, Scuddy.
Hello.
There's Alex from Wargaming.
Are you live?
Yeah, there's about 200 people watching.
Oh, is it?
we're just touring through the tank museum, checking things out.
So right now you're using Wi-Fi?
Yeah, the tank museum visitors Wi-Fi.
Is the Wi-Fi alright?
Man, I've been streaming for like 30 minutes, just walking through the tank museum.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's amazing, hey. So there's Skate, yep. There's Skate and Alex from Wargaming. They're sitting down here plotting how to get you to buy more crates.
That's a bit harsh on me, innit?
Yeah, here's the M48. It's not the Panhard you grab. There's no French tank there. That's the pattern. And it looks very classical. It looks exactly the same. Now here, what do you think that is, boys and girls? How about that? Every tank in game is real. But it's a T-72 with a schnorkel. It's got a schnorkel on it. So basically they design these things. I only found out after I started coming to the tank fest. They design these things so that they could actually drive them underwater across riverbeds. Slightly dangerous and slightly nerve-wracking, they say on the poster. I think you would find it a little more than slightly nerve-wracking. Taking a tank underwater. What happens if you break down or it floods with carbon monoxide? I would not get in a tank and go underwater. Not for all the tea in China. You can get officially wrecked. It's a chieftain, boys and girls, chieftain. And there's a leopard. How about this? This is the goods, the leopard. Superb. I think it's got the L7A1 on it, the NATO gun. Top speed of 64, yeah, 105 millimeter main gun, 64 kilometers an hour top speed. Yeah, I mean, when you look at these guns, the hilarity of some of the stuff we do, like HEing them and shit, is just hilarious. Like, you look at them, this is a beautiful looking tank. This is one of the prettiest tanks in the game. And again, that German, they just know how to make a tank, dude. Like, they look ridiculously pretty, which is hard to believe. Where's the E50? Chieftain, hull down, plenty of gun depression. There's that lower plate. Buff, needs a buff. Chieftain's another monster tank. The Brits don't muck around. They don't build little tanks. Leave that to the Russians. Anyone recognize this thing? T-62. The classic Russian design. Got fought everywhere, went everywhere. It's so Russian. And you look at them, when you get up close to these things, the hallmark of the Russian design seems very much to be the speed at which they could make them. Like behind you is the FV, no, the speed at which they could make them was absolutely crackers. And comparing it to some of the more modern tanks, yeah, it does. It looks like a 7-year-old built it. So do you guys want to come with me to the, do you want to come over and see the museum's kind of restoration building? It's only a short walk. Come along, I'll carry all of you. We're about, what, a couple of hundred? Yeah, come with me. There's no T95 here. The T95 doesn't exist. There's only, I think, Fort Knox, there's a T95, which is basically just two T28s glued together kind of thing. What's the menu at the cafe? I don't know. Do you want to come? Do you want to come across to the Restoration Museum thing? We'll go outside first. I'll show you the main show. Okay. So here we go. Excuse me, boys. Can I just duck through? Thank you very much. So this is the main area. It's not even that busy today. It's a lot busier tomorrow and a lot busier the day after. Excuse me, Alex, coming through. Live streaming. Important work. That's my old producer, Wargaming. Alex and Giorgio.
So by that,
yeah, it should come back.
Make sure that before we
Very sunny. You can't see.
is adjusted forward. That was a tremendously accurate gun. And in fact, that gun, the weapon system really is exactly the same on the next tanks in the arena than the Challenger 1. Now, Challenger 1 is really been designed for the Shah of Iran. He ordered 3 different types of tanks on the Britain. One was pretty much just souped up Chieftain. Another one's called Shear 1 and Shear, and then we have Shear 2. And really what happened when the Shear 1 was disposed, powering the 1978, throw that in NBC-80 to make a replacement, cheaped it. It was having issues, it was a bit behind the curve. Lots of clever features.
This upper here is the vehicle reservation, conservation area. Vehicle reservation area. The weather. The weather's really hot, really good. If you're not, or very, very pink Australian.
Went into British service with a number of tweaks and Challenger 1. So really what you're looking at there, the gunnery is exactly the same.
A real man for a real job worth of a real man. What are you talking about, Stuart? I earn money, people pay me to do it. If you don't like what you're doing, man, you should have a smile and a coke and shut the hell up. I can't help you, dude. Not my fault. Don't pass along project your unhappiness on that, mate. Oh, this is the French panther. This is the French panther, hey. Check it out. Beautiful tank. So it's straight out of France. Oh, don't worry, Nicholas Clark. I'm in the middle of England because Morgan paid for me to fly over. I think I'm pretty comfortable with we're back. Oh, no, we lost a lot of people. But this is the vehicle conservation thing. I'm going to give you an idea on how many things there are here that are just waiting. You saw all that beautiful work that people have done with the vehicles, made them into very, very nice little restoration works. This place is huge. It's enormous. And it's full to the brim of tanks that have yet to be restored. I'll walk you through it. Because it is fascinating just how many vehicles there are that, so you can see they've still put this stuff here where you can see what was actually here. That's exactly right. It's going from, yeah, like guys, I'm not trying to rip you off. I don't have access to the best cell and Wi-Fi in the world here. We are literally in the middle of nowhere at Bovington. So I'm going to show you some of these tanks. This is a tank that I've actually played a lot in games. There's some, I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but this is a beautiful restoration job on this thing. Do they have the L333, the Italian? I don't think so. So here's another Comet. This is the 1B. A lot of the tanks have these guns set up with them in the cradle at the back. A lot of them have broken hydraulics, so they can't actually hold up the guns anymore. Last year there was an M103 running around that had broken hydraulics as well. The dog is in the room, literally with the kids' play stuff. Like it's a joke of a tank. I hate the thing. But anyway, it is what it is. The FV211 Experimental Chieftain. There you go. There is a tank up the back here, which is a range tank, right? And the range tank's job, it's got covered in concrete and shit. The guy driving that would roll down the middle of the range and people would shoot at the bastard. Could you imagine trying to get someone to do that nowadays? Like, good luck. You can see a lot of big dogs along here. Yeah. I've not seen any Italian TDs here. I'll have a look for you. Have a look at this. This thing, there's odd things like this, right? We have a look at this. You can see you've got the T55A. This is a modified T55. So I think this is for landmine work and stuff. It's got a thing on the back. I don't know what the hell they were doing it for. It's got reactive armor as well on it. You can see there's reactive armor on a lot of the tanks in here, which is pretty weird. But these are just all sitting here waiting to be restored. Where's the Cromwell B with the gun going through the rear of its hull? You funny boy. Yeah, this is the Norinso Type 69 two-main battle tank. So this is a Chinese ripoff, basically, of a Russian tank. Right here. Wow. Look at that. Wowzers. That is fantastic. You recognize that sexy turret? Very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Let's have a look up back here. The FV4034 Challenger 1 MBT Weapon System Demonstrator. Now have a look at that bolting. That is solid metal. That's probably 3 inches. So it's like 12 inches of armor plate either side of the gun, angled on the turret and bolted in. I don't know what they were thinking, but it's an interesting idea, interesting concept. That is a big ass gun. There's no E100s and no Jaegeroos. A lot of those tanks, mate, were not really tanks that got produced. And it's very hard to find them anywhere outside of Central Europe and Russia, because like the Mouse, for instance, is in Russia, in Moscow, I think, because they finished building it or something. It wasn't something that was, where are we down here? Here's the range tank. I think this is the range tank. And have a look at the big dog over here. This thing is enormous. For balancing the turret, Hugola, that makes a lot of sense. This is the tank. Oh, they're firing outside. Can you hear that? Oh my God, it is so loud. It is so freaking loud. And that is 150 meters away from me. This is a tank that was used to drive along while people shot at you, intentionally. That is like a metal turret with concrete blocks all over it. The gun mantlet is concrete. That is not a gun, it's just it's a steel pipe. And all these extra bits of armor there. So people would shoot at you from downrange. And your job, oh, that's tanks firing outside. No shit. It's like the Challenger. This is a Centurion target tank, right? One of an order for 450, and they turned it into this tank. It was used to train infantry anti-tank missiles. How about them apples? FV4202? Anyone? What do you think of that? FV4202? Hesh firing monster? Look at that turret. They never got the balance right on that thing. I'll be doing a lot of live tanks tomorrow from the press area. This is the FV4404, otherwise known as the Conway. So this is the Conway we've got in game, and it is a giant tank, an absolutely giant tank. The gun is Le Giant. Yeah, this is a Conway, an unfinished Conway. Like, they haven't restored this one. It's a little bit rusty, but you can see it. It's pretty crazy. Look at it compared to the 4202. Look at the 4202's gun. Look at the Conway's gun. It's still going up there. Righto. Use repair kit. Yeah. It's a Chieftain P6. And you can see here, look at this. Oh my God. I don't even know what that thing is. It looks like a cross between a Conqueror turret and a Chieftain turret. It's a weird ass thing. I wonder if there's a sticker on this thing somewhere. What is this? What the hell is that? It's all odd angles. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. There's a 900 MBT. This is obviously a Sherman derivative, but it's running a 105mm M4 gun. So it used high explosive anti-tank, and it could, in theory, penetrate 4 inches or 101mm. There's a Churchill, very sexy gun. A T14. Oh, I'll show you the front plate from the T14. So this is the T14 that we've got in game, that rare premium heavy tank. I think it's tier 5. Look at the thickness on that front plate. Like, it was legit, hey. Very impressive vehicle. And then you've got all kinds of weird things like, this looks like a Maddie. I don't know if it is a Matilda, but it's got that kind of look about it. It's kind of like a Maddie slash Churchill. What's that say? Heavy Assault A33. The Ram is in here. We already had a look at the Ram. There's no toasters here. Excelsior, that's a good call. It does look like the Excelsior. It's not it, but that's not a bad call. And it does look like a Matilda BP, but it's called Heavy Tank A33 for some reason. Now, how am I going to get out of this joint? I have to go all the way back around. Yeah, the 4202 does look very, very handsome. It is a good-looking vehicle. I am very interested to find out what this thing is, 99 SP27. I can't see, maybe it's on the front and I just didn't get enough of a look. You can see the side of this Challenger MBT, all the rust and everything in it. I mean, it really needs to be taken apart and looked after, but they've just got so many of them. There's nothing can be done. No, there's nothing there I can see. It could be a Japanese tank. I don't know. I'll take you down and show you the wargaming area. There's a lot of other tanks in the middle there that I just couldn't get access to without walking around. That's a Land Rover. Oh, there's a French tank. There's your Panhard over there with the oscillating turret. There's your homework for the night, guys. Find out what that tank over there is for me, would you? The one we couldn't name. This is the World of Tanks area where we were earlier today. We had a live stream from up there that I was commentating and doing things in. There's your tank with the oscillating turret. There's a Hotchkiss SPZ 11-2. There is no KV2 here, boys and girls. EBR 90, eh? So you can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is the Blitz area here. We've all been banging around here all day, Blitz players. Which clan are you from again?
Us.
Us.
US from US. EU server.
EU server, there you go. EU server, more of the boys. There's Blitz players all over the place here, actually. Lots of booty, lots of goodie bags. There's people playing PC. And so we've basically been around here all day. We did a live stream up there earlier in the day. And it's a quiet day today, but there's still been a big ass load of people. There's a Blitz area over here as well. I've not seen you all here today. Quickie Baby's not been around.
Do you want a tattoo?
No, I'm all right. I don't want a tattoo. Thank you very much. And you can see there's a lot of humans here at the moment, but everyone's kind of starting to taper off and head home. It's now 4:30. And outside the vehicle conservation area is the main field. Let's go and have a look at some real tanks. Hey, what do you reckon? Oh, I'll show you the Stuggy while we're at it. I hope the lag doesn't kill us. Oh, we looked at Centurions and Leopards already, guys. Now, here's your Stug. Well, the guys from the Positive Waste, thank you very much. Bushka will have their teams there. Another Yag Panther over here. Thank you very much, James. So I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow where we actually I take you across the field there. So this is the main arena. There'll be some tanks going past. I'll actually raise this up so you can see.
The commander was right to be worried.
This is a 3485
if you look to
over
the
here.
east, you can see the Soviets indeed in the area looking for a lone panther. But these two 3485s appear to be without any supporting troops.
Bronco changed it back to work. Yeah, just saying goodbye now. I'm just about done.
So the T-34s are just like the IF-2 last year.
So we're going to, I'm going to say goodbye, fellas. Thank you everyone who watched. I'll be doing a live stream tomorrow from that hill over there, which is where you can actually watch as the tanks go round and round. And there's going to be a big announcement on Wargaming tomorrow, which I might try and live stream and get an idea on what's going on for you.
Seem to be moving off again.
And this bloke's telling the story of these two Russians. And I'm guessing there's going to be a bit of kapow here.
Well, watching from his hide, the Panther commander uses binoculars to spot the T-34 movements.
We wouldn't need to use binoculars. He's right fucking behind you.
He's got to stay still for 3 seconds, though, hasn't he?
He does. He has to stay still. If he doesn't stay still for 3 seconds, then his light bulb will go off and he knows he's spotted. Is he running camo net and spall line? Oh, it's a bit of a noob. Ask him if his crew's 100%. Hang on, here comes the Panther over there. You can see the Panther. He's getting amorous. Is he going to make the big booms? There's no T-34s in the American Tier 8 Heavy. I've never seen one though. There are a bunch of T-34-85s, and there's a T-34-76 that was captured and put into service with the Norwegians during World War II. Whoa! That was loud.
That one didn't go through.
Panther has fired. One of the T-34s has hit.
Oh.
We didn't even scratch them.
Yeah.
His angling was too good.
And this is the part where the guy in the Panther over there takes his keyboard and starts smacking it on his desk,
Now
going,
you
for
can see
fuck's
the other
sake.
T-34 desperately trying to spot where the fire's coming
I
from.
think it was that caster and it definitely deflected it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh!
They returned fire but missed their target.
Drunk from the T-34s in the woods and the Panther.
Everyone on the red team's typing in chat that dickhead over there is a camping noob. And he needs to move.
He was, that's what it was.
That hit them hard. Go, Shell. I hope you guys are enjoying this on the stream because we're enjoying it here. This is lovely. That Panther's not moving. This is just like watching a real game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Panther's just sitting there doing nothing.
It's like a tank game, isn't it? Mobile gameplay.
Yeah.
We're all dead. And we're watching the last two plays.
He's typing up, stop. Stop it. Stop. Here comes the M4. Oh.
He's been shot. Yeah, that went in.
Oh. There's the Fury tank. This is, this never happened because that M4 just blew him up.
When did Fury decide to join the fight?
That's Brad Pitt's abdominals coming around here at 40 kilometres an hour.
Kelly's hero, isn't it?
We'll check out the people
The three Shermans, including an adopted British Firefly, cautiously enter the area to investigate. They pass somberly by the burning wrecks of the T-34s.
He had a low sperm count, they had to ignore. There's the Fury tank.
Right, Brad! I don't think he heard you.
Now, Wolf Dog, who is here, he worked on Fury, didn't he?
Hey?
Wolf Dog worked on Fury, didn't he? Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yeah. All right, boys and girls, I'm going to go now. Ian's and Andy is behind me. So if you ever see them in game, these are the guys you're abusing. Two of the finest human beings you're going to have. Andy, show that T-shirt off. Now, Andy bought T-shirts like that for everyone. He gave me a T-shirt. He gave me stickers. He's a lovely human being. And Ian's was a great bloke. He did that charity stream for the stem cell research, which had a lovely result too. I'm just talking about the charity stream he did.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, so there's a lot of really good humans here, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll be doing a live stream from across in the press area there where you can see the canvas bags and the netting, and it's a lot louder and a lot smokier and a lot noisier from over there. So look after yourselves. I'm wrecked, and until next time, stay safe in the battlefield. Bye for now.
Bye.
Get your veggies.